All right, welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. And we are pleased to be joined by the one, the only Bridget Burgess, who, of course, participates in the Arca Menard Series West. Bridget, how are you?
Good, thank you.
First off, thank you so much for taking some time today. Of course, you ran your first Arca Menard Series West and basically Arca Menard Series race at Phoenix last week. How do you think it went for you?
It went better than expected. It was my brand new car, so I still had things to learn with the car. I just wanted to get comfortable in it, which I did. For practice, it went pretty good. I wanted to do better than what I actually did. Unfortunately, there was no qualifying, so I did start 24th out of 30 cars. And a bit after practice, we did some changes, so I was really happy about it. During the race, felt super comfortable. I was working up to 17th place, and then unfortunately I had fuel pressure problems and I had to pull in, and by the time we got it fixed, I went back out and I was 32 laps down, but I didn't give up. I didn't just decide to go slow after that. I kept going because the car was completely fine after we got it fixed, so I was happy with it, and I just kept running and finished the race in 22nd place.
Okay, so how did you get into racing?
Well, I've always liked racing. I've always liked cars, but my parents never really had the money to fund it. In 2015, my mom got involved with short course off-road, and I just thought it was amazing, like jumping trucks and like crashing into other people. So that's like when my interest grew into racing. So my parents' deal was like, if you want to race, you have to work for it. So that being said, I worked on my mom's off-road truck for a couple of years and learned all the tools and what I need to do to service the truck. And then we finally got some money funded up for it from our sponsors. And we bought just a roller chassis. So it wasn't brand new. It wasn't actually the best chassis out there, but we made it work. And I basically got my mom's like hand-me-down race parts to like build my off-road truck, and I had fun with it, but I also liked asphalt racing, so I wanted to get into that too. And I got involved with off-road with the regional series just in 2017, and then I got into the pro series in 2018, and then I watched a lot of more racing. And in 2019, I finally got into asphalt racing with the Asphalt Modified.
So you're not originally from America. You're actually from Australia. What was that like?
Moving over here was a different culture shock, I guess. Just like in Australia, I was so used to being in my own country, and then moving here, and kind of learning a different language. Like we obviously speak English, but we have different terms for stuff. So in some ways, I just had to learn everything all over again. And when I moved here, I was in kindergarten, so it was I moved here. I moved to Gardena, California, and it's kind of a rough area. So there was a lot of things to get used to, but at the same time I knew it was for the best. And I was very young at the time, so I don't entirely remember much from my home country, but I do miss Australia, but yeah.
Of course, it's going to be a long layoff between this race and the next Arca Menard Series West race coming up in sometime in June. What are you going to be doing to prepare for this? Are you going to run any regular races? Are you going to go out east and try to see if you can run there, or what are you going to do?
Well, I actually have a NASA race coming up, and it's next weekend. I'll be racing Spec Miata, and then in between everything, I will be transferring my ARCA car from oval to road course, just because I only have one car for the year. So my dad and I will be working on that. And also, I live near a road course at Utah Motorsports campus, so I'll be taking my car out there, getting some seat time, and just learning more about road course. I love road course. I go in that road course every week, but it will be my first time doing it in an ARCA car. So I'm really excited for that. And I also just have other project cars because that's just what I'm interested in. I have a old BMW that I use as my drift car, so I'll be working on that, working on my Spec Miata along with the ARCA car.
All right. The Spec Miata cars, how did you get into that?
It was actually just this year. It will be my first time racing it next weekend. Um, Someone wanted me to get into Pro Formula Mazda, which is open wheel racing, which I was interested in. However, it wasn't at any of the tracks that I'll be racing out with ARCA and like the Spec Miata stuff. So my parents and I had more interest in doing the Spec Miata. And I always thought it was a pretty fun class to watch because they have so many cars out there. And because it is at my home track, that's what I decided to go with.
Okay. Well, let's get to know you a little bit, Bridget. Of course, I've been doing this a lot with ARCA drivers. A lot of people might not know about you. Of course, you know that you were from Australia, but okay. So here's what's your favorite all-time racing moment that you've had?
Um, I would have to go with two of them. Last year, it was the last race at the Bull Ring. I forgot what month it was, but it
September.
was yeah, it was my best finish in the old car that I had last year. I think I finished seventh or something.
Nice.
And it's a bit weird because after the race, I feel like I could have done more. I always feel like that. But like it was a pretty hot day, and yeah, it was also kind of frustrating. There were just a couple things wrong with my brake setup, but we got through the day, and it was just a proud moment to get seventh place. And then I would have to go for the second time. Was the race out of Phoenix, just driving the new car. I was so happy with it, and I felt very comfortable with it compared to the car last year. Just everything about that car to me was the best. There's still a lot to work on with that car, still more to learn with it. But I'm really excited for this year.
Favorite all-time favorite. What's your favorite movie?
Uh, I think I'm gonna have to go with Stroke Race. Stroke Race and
I
Days of
love
Thunder.
Stroke Race.
Yeah, Stroke Race. The reason why I like that movie is just because if you want to race, you have to do like anything you possibly can for your sponsors. And if that means that you have to put a chicken suit on for it, then that's what you have to do. So that's the reason why I like that movie, is just because you have to put that effort in. And I feel like I relate to that movie sometimes.
Okay, so the next few I'm going to play a few true or false questions. So just say if you think it's true, or false. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. True or false? I did not know that the royal family had any control in Europe or England, I should say.
True.
Okay. Yeah, there's actually a lot of people. You'd be surprised. There are people that still don't know that.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
Australia has a queen and king, so yeah, queen.
they don't have any control. Um, so, okay. True or false? I have racing superstitions.
True. Yeah, definitely true. I hate there's like I have my gear bag and I want everything to be perfect the way I have it. And it also comes to like my seating stuff. It's like don't touch my belts. I got it. So definitely gonna have to go with that. My dad, he thinks I'm crazy for it, but yeah, I'm pretty specific about how I want things.
True or false? I've seen the movie Days of Thunder more than 5 times.
True. Definitely true.
Um, True or false? I have to explain to my friends what I do for a living.
Um, huh, true. Yeah.
Okay. You know, this racing thing is something a lot of people don't understand. It's like, oh, I cover, people say, oh, you cover NASCAR, and then you go, oh boy. But it's like, it's fun. I mean, you get it and stuff, but it's like,
Yeah, it's
I'm a race car driver. Oh,
yeah,
that's
that's what I
cool.
was about to say. It's a bit funny because it's like when I meet people and I ask like, "Oh, do you go to college? Like, what do you do for a living?" And it's like, how do I say this without sounding a bit too egotistic? And it's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a race car driver." So it's kind of funny sometimes, but yeah, it's because when you explain that you're a race car driver, then you have to go into detail when you started racing, where you're from, like what interest do you have in racing? So yeah, it gets dragged out a lot.
True or false? I did not. When I explain to people that people don't know that I'm actually from Australia at first.
True, because I don't have an accent like I used to.
I mean, I think Sarah, who I think is your mom, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
She does have an accent.
Yes, she does. So does my
So,
dad. So
and then it's kind of funny because the thing is what we're talking right now, and people wouldn't know that you're from Australia because to me, you just talk like everybody else around here.
yeah, so I grew up in California
Okay.
for 10 years, and I was just in the LA schooling district,
Right.
so it kind of lost it within a couple years. But like if I talk to my cousins on the phone or to my brother, it comes right back, and then I lose it like an hour later.
Do you say
So
good day? Do you say like good day, mate?
no. It's funny because once in a while I'll try and fake something. It just sounds so weird because it's like I'm Americanized. But I mean, yeah, if I do talk to my cousins or like anyone in my family for a bit, it kind of catches back on.
Yeah. Okay. Um, True or false? I have became fans of American sports like football, baseball, basketball, and hockey.
I think I'm gonna have to go with false. My parents watch football and I just don't understand it.
Now,
And
just to clarify, is this like regular American football, or sometimes people call soccer football?
I don't know. I don't watch any ball sports. I'm not interested in it.
Okay,
So
all right.
yeah,
It's just
definitely gonna have to go with
you'd
no.
be surprised. It's like for a lot of racers, it's just I just watch racing and that's it. So
Yeah. My parents, they're interested in other sports too, but I don't understand it.
it takes a while for people to understand it. Just look at how many people try to understand this sport.
Yeah.
So
That's such a good point.
yeah. And finally, what's something people don't know about Bridget Burgess?
Hmm. Um, I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like there's a lot of them, such as working on my own stuff. Some people are very surprised about it. Like they see it on social media, and it's not until they walk into my shop and they're like, "Oh, you're changing a differential." Like it's not often you walk in on a 19-year-old girl like working on their NASCAR. So that's definitely one of them. Another one is before I got into racing, I actually used to show horses.
Really?
That was my other interest before racing. Yeah.
How long did you do that for?
So I worked the stables and cleaned the stables for around 6 months, and then for a whole year I helped with training horses.
Nice.
I had to work for it to actually show the horse.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed that too, but I just don't have time for it anymore.
All right. Well, Bridget Burgess, we thank you so much for coming on and spending a few minutes with us. And congratulations on the on running the full Arkham Menard Series West and series season. And we'll see you when the Arkham Menard Series West resumes in June.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no problem.